Alright, part of start 6. I'm currently in the process of getting all the pieces set up for one of the sides of the face. Now, compared to the compared to Minmay and Freya in Congo, this one's face is a lot less uniform. So I'm having a lot more smaller parts to work with than I did with Minmay, Freya, and Congo. So I'll be surprised if I can actually finish the face off in one full day. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be taking one side and just cutting it all together like this, building it up, and then taking the other side and then cutting it up and then building it also. So I expect this to be probably a good day's. This is probably going to be at least a good two-day build on the face. The only thing that'll stink is that the eyes aren't actually physically fused to the model, but luckily with the way the guy actually did the realignment of the little eye socket, I can use these little lines here to properly line up the actual eyes and whatnot. So hopefully by the time I get everything nice and done, the eyes shouldn't be too difficult to properly mount. I might use some very thin magnets to actually just make it to where the eyes can just be moved around. But for right now, just gotta get the face put together. Sorry about the creepiness factor, but this is one of the things I don't like about when it comes to me showing off the faces, because in the current state, it's creepy as fuck. But by the end of this video, the face should look a little bit more natural, not, well, this. So one thing I've learned is that when it comes to attaching this little the actual whites of her eyes, my initial idea was to just have them as like this, where it's just a whole separate oval. But doing it that way made it so the face was in a broken up state, to where the first parts I was building was these outer sections here, and it was basically going like this. And it wasn't normal until I start getting towards the very middle right here, where you can see it's a whole single piece up to here. When it comes to these faces, I like to build them in single slices like this, like I do with Minmay and Freya. But since I didn't do the eye socket the way I did, it didn't allow it. So I'm going to redo it properly on the other side. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because this side of her face is basically only going to be hidden by her hair. So the screw up that I did on this face, even though it's basically formed properly, it's going to be relatively hidden, while the other side of the face is going to be more proper. So with that said, I'm going to give myself a small break, and also in the process of giving myself a small break, I'm going to be setting up the other face. So yeah. Oh yeah, I also forgot to show that I got the neck all situated for the most part. I've yet to add in any major reinforcements because I want to add the actual rest of her face on to this before I go through the whole process of adding reinforcements, blend dowels, and all that other stuff. So right now it's just more or less just friction fitted in there. Here's the setup for the other side of the face. I'm more happy with how this one came out. There's still parts that are not properly in the way I want, but it's a bit more concise and a bit more easier for me to actually figure out where everything goes, and hopefully it'll come out a little bit more cleaner. It also shouldn't take me as long to build, considering this one's a bit more consistent. I'm currently in the process of connecting the two halves. Now I did time myself to see how long this section took to build. It took around 3 hours. The reason why I'm excluding 20 minutes is because I did take a few small breaks in the throughout. But yeah, it takes about 3 hours. It takes about 3 hours to build one side. So this is a good 8. This is probably a good near 8 hours worth of work. And the reason why I'm adding in a few extra hours is because it took a lot more longer to build this section than this section. I can tell that for a fact. So just to build the face, again, is about like 8 hours of work. So I basically did a whole full work week. So once I get this done, put together, and then attached to the Next section, I'm most likely going to call it for today, and most likely be going to bed. Because I woke up around 5 a.m., 7, 8, not 5, about maybe 4 or 5 a.m., so I'm pretty sleepy right now. So I have the formers for the interface temporarily attached. If I flip it over, you can tell the face doesn't look right. It looks a little bit lopsided. I'm hoping that once I add the back cover to it, it should form out a little bit more better. But what I'm really hoping for is that once I get a more proper reinforcement for the inside all put together, and I get the irises on and the hair on, hopefully then it should start looking more proper. The one thing unfortunately I wasn't able to foresee was the gape that is Rim's mouth. Though I can easily fix this just by sharpening a little piece of paper and then just hot gluing it inside the actual mouth to just kind of close this area up. So this is one of the very few things I hate about these builds, is getting the face to look proper. And as it stands right now, the face looks fairly off. But hopefully I'll be able to remedy these issues. You can clearly see the differences on each side of the face. So again, luckily this side here is going to be hidden, or at least the major parts that look really off are going to be hidden by Rim's hair. While this side is going to look a little bit more natural, or hopefully somewhat decent, though the mouth does. You can definitely tell the mouth is definitely off. But again, hopefully as I actually more properly get the form for the face figured out, I should hopefully get it to look more right. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add this back section to the face, reinforce this back section, and then most likely call it, because again I'm quite sleepy. I'm just at the point now to where I just want to get the face all formed up and then worry about shaping it and whatnot tomorrow. The adding of the back plate here does help with more properly and normalizing the actual upper section of Rim's face. Though the bottom section, you can still see the mouth is just slightly crooked. From what I've been able to tell when it comes to just general manipulation of the face, is that if I actually push up here on the actual paper, it kind of goes back to a more straight and aligned look. But it also is also putting a lot more but it's also pushing inward onto the actual face. Instead of it actually being like this, it's more caved in. So again, I'm hoping that I just need to pop this out and get it to more more normalize itself with this section here, because this is what it's supposed to look like and not like this. I'm hoping pushing it out will resolve the crooked mouth issue. If not, I might be able to go and do some more manipulation, because I can also manipulate right here and right on top of here also, if need be, to get the proper mouth, to get the mouth to look proper. But what I'm most likely going to do tomorrow is I'm going to cut all this little section off right here and reinforce the very top section here, so this area has its all that way. So this area here has its proper shape. Why I go and properly shape the underneath section here, which is basically all this, because if I reinforce this section, I'll be able to it's hard to explain. I need to go to bed, but yeah, I guess what I'll do next is I'll just pop the face onto Rim's body and show you how creepy it is, and then go to bed. Well, creepiness factor has been achieved. I mean, other than the fact I'm building a life-size Papercraft figure of Rim, but it just adds to the creepiness factor. Now, I actually may keep the mouth as is, but I still want to unpucker this area, because this still doesn't look right. But the mouth looks a little bit different. It's at a slight angle and actually doesn't look like the normal look that I was originally going to get. So what I'm hoping for is that once I add the irises, once I add the ears and once I add the hair, hopefully it should look more proper. Now I might actually want to keep the current crooked mouth because it actually doesn't look that bad. Because I was originally going to get a pretty blank face, but if I can keep it like this and it doesn't look creepier than it already is and actually looks more like a proper rim, then I'll go with it. But again, I still want to pucker out this area here. So tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to reinforce the top section right here. But I got to figure out how exactly do I want to work with the bottom section, because currently it's looking the way I want, but I need to again pucker this out. So I should hopefully figure something out for tomorrow and actually get this more looking proper. So yeah, I definitely achieved my creepiness factor. And with that said, I'm not going to be going to bed with this thing on Rim's body, because last thing I want to do is wake up at night and have this thing looking at me. Here's where I'm at right now. I'm at this side, so the creepiness factor isn't too atrocious. But if I go here, you can see the creepiness factor is definitely there. Again, this is still in the very beginning stages when it comes to building out the face. I was hoping that once I got this piece done, I could attach the eye and get a more proper idea of how she would look. But with the way this concaves in and whatnot, and that mouth looks the way it does, I seriously need to go in there and more properly reinforce everything. Though at the very least, I did manage to get the eye to properly be looking straight forward. But to get the eye to properly flush, because as you can see, you can actually see the shadow of the eye, which isn't supposed to be there. But if I go to flush it, it's now looking sideways slightly, and it looks even more often than it normally does. So I'm going to have to somehow figure out how to get this to work. I might actually be forced to have it this way due to the way this model is actually designed. Because again, this is a Chinese model, not a Japanese model. And when it comes to the Macross figures, the way they design their eyes is a lot more simplified and a lot more easy to work with compared to this Chinese model. I mean, it's still a decent looking model nonetheless, but there's quite a few inconsistencies that I just do not like compared to my Macross figures. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get myself ready for bed, and I'm going to finish off the ears tomorrow, and hopefully also finish off the back of her head. That way, so I can at least have a more proper form. And I also still need to go in there and properly reinforce the actual head, because right now it's still very floppy and whatnot. And I also went in there and added in some reinforcements to the top, so at least I can keep the proper shape. But I didn't go and do reinforcements in the eye sockets because I want to try and manipulate them. I also do need to remove this little panel right here to allow me to properly manipulate the mouth. So I guess that's probably one other thing I need to do, is to go in there and properly manipulate the mouth. But I first want to get at least the ears attached and get the back of the head all put together and whatnot. Okay, scratch that. I decided to do a few more things before I went to bed. One thing I did is I went and redid the reinforcement just by on the bottom here, just by cutting out the pieces of paper I don't need and basically securing it completely in. And I also bulged out the side cheek that I was complaining about, and I hot glued both sides so now they won't collapse. And I think I relatively figured out how I can get the mouth to properly look the way I want it, if I can properly hold the face. So to get the mouth the way I want, I can just easily press onto this side right here, and once I get everything all situated with the eyes, the hair, and everything else, then I'll go in there more properly, mounting the mouth the way I want. And what do you want? What do you want? She's been doing this for the past 15 minutes, meowing outside my door, walking into my room, meowing, walking right back out. She is the pure definition of stupid cat. But yeah, I kind of more or less figured out what I need to do to hopefully at least get the mouth to properly look the way I want. Though the eye situation I'm still trying to figure out. But again, I'm not really going to put my effort into getting the eye properly set up until I get the rest of the back of her head put together and whatnot. And what I am going to do is I'm going to basically be hot gluing the hair directly through using the ears as guides. And once I get all that done and get the hair relatively figured out, then I'm going to go and properly mount this thing onto the body to an extent. Make sure it's all reinforced so it doesn't flop around. And once I get all that situated and whatnot, then I'm going to start working on the eye. Now with rim here, I'm just going to put all my effort onto this eye here. I'm not really going to be concerned with this one because again, this one's going to be more or less blocked. So I'm just going to basically leave this iris as is because again it's going to be blocked. And I'm going to put all my effort into this eye here, working on the eyelashing and whatnot, all the bits and pieces I need to add to the eye and whatnot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to bed. I might actually end this video here because I've rambled quite a long time without actually showing anything off. But yeah, I think I am going to end this part here. I'm just going to upload it because this one's going on way too long already, and plus I'm getting tired of showing this creepy face, and I really want to show a more proper face when I'm done. Oh, and now you come onto my bed right before I go to bed. She is the literal, I keep saying it, but she is the definition of stupid. Aren't you, Patty? She is the little definition of stupid. Aren't you, Patty? You're up here, stupid little kitty. But there's nothing I can do about you being stupid. Fortunately, you were born stupid and there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, I'll quickly add this to the video before I go and edit it together and whatnot. My canister filter came in. Well, this is the box. Here is the actual contraption. So I'm going to go and basically get this thing all set up. Since I don't know how long this thing will take to set up, I might be taking today off and actually continuing on with the build on Thursday. No, it is already Thursday, which tomorrow will be Friday. So yeah. So I got everything unpacked and I got to read the instructions. So I can already tell this is easily going to be at least a day's worth of working the canister filter set up for my goldfish. So most likely Friday is when I'll start back up. Friday I will, unless I actually finish this thing up a lot quicker than I think I will. But depending on what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be building the ears for Rim, and I'll build the back section of her hair. So basically that's going to be the next part of this video, and then after that it'll be building the arms. Once I get the face done, relatively speaking, or once I get the face and hair and everything and all that situated, building the arms, getting those things set up will probably be like maybe a 2-3 day adventure. Maybe a 4-day adventure, considering it takes about 45 minutes just for one freaking finger on any of these characters. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish up watching the old kill stream, and I'll be putting this video also in the my video editing tool and getting it all set up so I can upload to YouTube and whatnot. So yeah.